we have an artist study for this week. That's right. We're going to be talking about a famous artist by the name of Ted Harrison. Ted Harrison. He's from Canada, and he specializes in these really, really cool, colorful landscapes. Hey, I actually found a clip of him on YouTube talking about his own art. Let's listen in.
The Yukon has been a huge part of what's represented in your art. Tell me about that and the beautiful use of color.
Well, the thing is, I was painting at first realistically, and I suddenly realized if I painted the mountains, it would look like the same. It would look like BC or somewhere else. So I kind of fell into a very simple style. I simplified everything down, and then I saw the rhythms in the land and the sky, and I portrayed those rhythms, and they're always there, If you ever get bored, all you need to do is look up at the sky and the varied moods.
Simplicity is best, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome guy, isn't he? Really cool. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with our own Ted Harrison inspired landscape. First off, we're gonna have to find the colors we want to use. And to do that, you're looking for a media. I have markers here. You're looking for a media that will give you several different shades of the same color, right? Look how many different greens I have, from dark green to light green. Look how many blues, from dark blue to light blue. To get the variety of color that I have here with markers, I had to pick up a 40 count pack of markers. So you think about what media you already have. Maybe color pencils could do this, oil pastels, chalk pastels, and of course, you can mix your own different shades and tints of the colors that you have with paint. It just kind of depends on what you have on hand. Unfortunately, with markers, you have to test it out. Just because it's a different shade or tint on the outside of the marker doesn't mean it's always going to look different when you use it on your paper. Out of all the blues that I had, there were only 3 that actually looked different on paper. Yeah, bummer. Anyway, once you get the colors sorted out, it is now time to draw the landscape. Grab yourself a pencil and lightly compose your landscape drawing. You want a foreground, and for my foreground, I'm going to put a couple of hills in the foreground. For my midground, I'm going to put some mountains in, and I think I want to leave space for a body of water. The easiest way I have found to achieve that, Ted Harrison style, is to start out on one side of the paper, and instead of drawing the hill or mountain line to go all the way to the other side, I stop it short and then go back to the same side I started at, right? And that leaves a space that we can then call our body of water. This line actually is called the horizon line. That's where the sky stops and our body of water, in this case, the body of water, sometimes it's land begins, but this case, of course, it's going to be our body of water begins. And then I have the sun. In the sky, I do want to put some clouds. He was talking about, Ted Harrison was talking about the rhythm in the sky. And how he wanted to portray that rhythm. So I looked at his pieces and I came up with a Ted Harrison way of drawing that rhythm, the clouds and the sky. I think it works. I think it works. Now, let's go ahead and start with the coloring. Oh my gosh, this is like the best part of the landscape, the coloring. So start out with the darker colors. We want to keep that depth of field. And the best way I found to do that in the foreground, save your dark colors for that. The midground, you want to put your medium colors, and then in the background, you want to put the lightest colors that you have available to you. As you can see, I started with the darkest of the dark, a really, really dark purple here, and I'm using the lawnmower method, and I'm coloring it all in. Now it's time to step it up to a lighter purple. And as you can see, as I go up and up and up, I get lighter and lighter and lighter on my landforms until I get to just about the lightest color of purple that I have available to me. You can do the same thing, like I said, to create that depth of field so that you have things look close to you. You have things look kind of medium distance to you, and then you have things that are far away from you. You want to keep to that theme. You want to start dark and then get medium and then get lighter. Now, moving on to the water, my body of water. I know you're like, well, Mr. P, you got green water? You got purple hills and mountains and land? What are you doing with the colors? Yes, be creative. Oh my gosh, there is no wrong way to color it. Use the colors like your favorite ones. Use them, make them look really, really good. Look at this. Look at the colors that I have here. I know they're unconventional, but it still looks really, really good. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to take some time to get the circle for my sun right. I think I want to leave that circle white in this one. I don't normally do that, but I think it's going to work out really well. So I'm going to spend some time getting that circle just right. You draw multiple lines, and then erase the ones that are wrong, keeping the ones that are right, and then you're good to go. Starting my sky now with a even lighter color. I'm gonna go with this really light colored orange, and I'm tracing around. Like I said, I wanna leave it white. I'm gonna leave my sun white, so I'm gonna trace around it, taking care not to put any orange there or anywhere else is not supposed to be. I do like tracing around the space, around the edges of the space, and then going back and filling that space in. I just think that's a really, really good, neat approach. But whatever works for you, you want to make sure it's nice and neat, everything you do. Using the lawnmower method to color it all in. Of course, if you're using markers, you might be using, like I said, oil pastels would have the variety of colors you would need for this lesson. Chalk pastels would have the variety of color you need for this lesson. Trying to think, of course, paints. You can mix whatever color you need with paints. And I'm trying to think of something else you might have on hand. I don't know. If you have a medium that you can use, hey, tell me what you got. Put it in the comments. Let me know what I'm missing. Anyway, just take your time, finish it all up, and I think you're going to like what you got. Most important thing about this type landscape, I said it about 4 times already. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you start with those dark colors and then end with the light colors. This is what we're doing today, and I would like you now to go and have fun.